Evening, Lino. Just to take us through very briefly what actually transpired at court today.
Well, today, those allegations made, of course, yesterday by Mabaso's affidavit, read out by the lawyer, but today was the defense's turn now to cross-examine, particularly the investigator, the investigator who, was on testifying against this, saying that, okay, they've received these statements, they've received somewhat of a confession from the first applicant, which is Mabaso, or rather, which is Vusi Mabaso at this point. We understand that his name is Vusi Mabaso, but they're saying now, the lawyer of Khupe is the one now that's taking the time to actually cross-examine this and check all of this information. And what I can tell you is that what he is actually doing at this stage is trying to puncture holes in this case that the state, as well as the first applicant, are saying and actually saying they deny everything that they are claiming. He was not there at the time. He does not know about the killing of this family, and what also he says that he has alibis to prove that he wasn't at that place at the time, despite the state actually providing evidence, some of the evidence saying that we have eyewitnesses, we have this, we have that, to actually prove that this indeed story from the first applicant might check out.
Will at some point the witnesses be called to actually testify?
Well, we understand that at a later stage there will be witnesses from both sides, in fact, that will be called to testify. There is evidence, of course, in a form of, the cell phone records as well, showing again that the only person that Khupe, the applicant, second applicant, the 61-year-old, who he was in contact with when he went to Zimbabwe. Initially, after he crossed the border, he then contacted Vusi Mabaso, I understand. So another thing that they're saying is that actually he did not call anyone else. And that is one of the things that they're saying is pointing them on the direction that, in fact, they were working in cahoots. But what is happening right now at this point in time is that the lawyer now of Khupe is trying to say there is absolutely nothing that Khupe has done in terms of the implications or the evidence that is presented before court, saying that he was also part of this conspiring to murder the family. And another thing that they're trying to say now is that in terms of the law of inheritance, the person who will inherit the house is the next family member. But because Khupe was not related in any type of way, despite living with the family for 15 years, he doesn't stand to inherit the house. So why would he kill them if he wanted to inherit the house? So those are the things. Another thing, if I can touch on briefly, is the fact that there is a family member that stayed there for quite some time as well, that was later went to KZN for an interview, we understand. And the money he got from the very same Vusi Mabaso, he got the money to actually go and attend to that that interview. But what now the defense is saying, it might be pointing out to the fact that she might also need to be one of the suspects, because she, in fact, stands to inherit the house. He is one of the family members that stands to inherit the house. They're saying that the very first person who accepted the friend request on Facebook was the very same person. And they're also saying that the person whom they're in question here is the person who had created a WhatsApp group for the family members. So they are bit by bit painting a picture. The defense, of course, the lawyer of Khupe, saying that there is more probability of different situations here, that he said he will give a conclusion. When he's giving a conclusion, he will give a thorough situations as to there are many people here who can be looked at. But what they are saying is that they remain adamant that Khupe is not at all in any way, linked to this. He didn't stand to inherit the house. He does not have a motive to actually conspire to killing the family.
So new information emerging that could suggest a motive and point this whole case in a different direction. Who was at court today?
Well, the family always there at court from day one. The family members, the community members, typically when we were at Lenasia Magistrates Court, they would stand outside, all of that. But once the bail application started and it moved to the Protea Magistrates Court, that's when we saw them now going inside the court. And in fact, I can tell you that today they were not allowed to go because it was an overflow in terms of the capacity of the gallery. But they did force their way inside, and they promised to the magistrate that they'll keep quiet. So family family, the people from Vlakfontein, as well as, just detectives from the side of the investigation. A team of detectives, in fact, is there. And, just the media also is really there. But a lot of reaction that had to be, calmed down from the gallery, saying, as, these details emerge, they would howl and do all of that. But the magistrate really being patient with them and saying that they must just try to bear with it. But one of the things that happened yesterday, when now the revelation of how each and every family member had died, or how the Vusi Mabaso carried out this crime, that was when they needed to take a recession because of the tears from the gallery, family members, community members, and in fact I saw some of the family members walking out. But in its essence, it's just the family members, it's just a community that's supporting the family, media, and of course that team of investigators, as well as the representatives of both sides.
Quick one, what happens next?
Well, what happens next is that the defense lawyer, particularly Fita Khupe's lawyer, the second applicant, is saying that he'll need time to really get into the details of this, because these are serious allegations against someone who's saying he's innocent. So he says probably 1 or 2 days before he can conclude with cross-examining the person on the stand, which is the investigating officer. So next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when he says he can conclude, and that's when the magistrate has then postponed the matter to next week, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. Thanks very much, Lindo Gohluxulu, who was at court